Good morning. This is a Sunday School lesson for August the 9th, 2020. I'm titling this lesson The Story of Joseph, Part 1, Losing It All. The lectionary readings for today are Genesis 37, 1 through 4, 12, and 28, 1 Kings 19, 9 through 18, Psalm 85, 8 through 13, Psalm 105, 1 through 6, 16 and 22, and 45b, Matthew 14, 22 through 33, and Romans 10, 5 through 15. Joseph's story reads like a modern novel. The story of Joseph and his brothers is not pretty. I'm not sure about the lessons we can learn from it, but let's look at it and see. It is a story of betrayal. The brothers did not betray Joseph, but they betrayed their father Jacob. There never had been any love lost between Joseph and his brothers, but he expected them to honor their relationships with their mutual father, and he felt safe with them. Let's read the whole chapter of the Bible. Genesis 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all of his children, because he was a son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all of his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream. And he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said unto him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance unto me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him. But his father observed the saying. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here I am. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it is well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren, and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him far off, even before he came near unto him, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer comes. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him, lest us cast him into some pit, and we will say, some evil beast hath devoured him, and we will see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered them out of their hands, and said, No, let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him, and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, and there was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread, and lifted up their eyes, and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery, and balm, and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, What profit is it if we slay our brother, and conceal his blood? Come, and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. And then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned into the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found, and know not whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it, and said, It is my coat, my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent into pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many, many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted. And he said, I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt, unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. Well, we would think this family was not a typical family. There were confusing hierarchies of rank among the brothers. Rank was pretty important to these people, and when the patriarch, that would be Joseph or Jacob or Israel, when the patriarch died, they would either split into family economic groups or remain united under one new patriarch. How that would happen depended upon their mutual agreement as to their rankings and how much power each heir had. Otherwise, there would be a lot of suffering. People would be killing each other and stuff, and that would be bad, look bad. So let's look at the ranks of the sons of Jacob. There was the rank of birth order. The older the son, the greater his privilege. There's a couple of lists. http www.biblestudy101.org/lists/12tribes/.html. And then you can also go to http://www.cotquestions.org/jacobschildren.html. Or you can just do a web search. I use DuckDuckGo, you can use Google, you can use Yahoo, you can use anything you want, and you'll find all sorts of information out. Joseph, and it's right there in the Bible, Joseph was next to the last son out of 12. However, that wasn't quite that simple. Complicating the rank of birth order was a hierarchy of their mothers. Jacob had 2 wives and 2 concubines. The wives, so the children their rank depended upon their mother, not just their birth order. Joseph was the first son of the second wife, ranking above the sons of the concubines, but not the sons of the first wife. That would give him a rank somewhere in the middle of the pack. And here's how they're ranked. The sons of Leah: Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel: Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah: Rachel's handmaid, Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah: Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which are born to him in Paddan Aram. Joseph's mother, even though she was a second wife, was the first wife to be betrothed to Jacob. That would place him at the top of the heap. There was an ever-shifting hierarchy of whom Jacob liked best. It was shifting, but not at the top. Joseph would always be at the top of that pecking order. And then there was a hierarchy of experience, how things happened and shifted other things around. Okay, the oldest son, Reuben, he had a problem. He had an affair with one of his father's wives, one of his concubines. But he was still acknowledged as a son, but not necessarily to be the patriarch presumptive. Genesis 5:22, and it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard it. Then the next two brothers had committed a mass murder in a nearby village because they did not want their sister to be married to the chief's son. I misspelled chief, so don't look at that. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And I, being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house." Later we get this tidbit. And they journeyed. And the terror of God was upon the cities that were round about them, and they would not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So, everybody was scared of Jacob and his sons because they were not nice people. And this is all the fault of Simeon and Levi. And Jacob was permanently mad at Reuben. So that would put Joseph higher up. Now, scholars don't agree on all of the details, of course. But that did lower these people's presumptive scores. So Joseph was, even though not the senior son, pretty high in rank. If he wanted to be the patriarch, and if he had the backing of all the sons of all the concubines, he probably could have become the next chief executive of the family business. But Jacob was not a good politician. He snitched on how some of his brothers were handling the family business. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Okay, if you want to be a good politician, don't be a snitch, is all I've got to say. He claimed some interesting mystical revelations that made everyone mad at him, even his father. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brother, and they hated him yet the more. That may have taken him out of the running to be the next patriarch. Probably that does not seem to have been his personal goal anyway. He was 17 and hadn't quite thought things through and probably just wanted to be a playboy. So why was he telling all these dreams? I don't know. He still had the garment Jacob had given him, his Joseph's coat, People argue about what that means, but it was certainly some kind of fancy garment that meant he was really special. It seemed to protect him from the populace, but not his brothers. His father tells him to find the brothers, and incidentally the herds, and check up on them. And it's kind of amazing our modern tools. Jacob's total trip from Hebron to Shechem to Dothan was 81 miles, or 26 hours of walking if he didn't stop for rest or sleep. First he went to Shechem. Jacob had a right to be concerned. Shechem was where Simeon and Levi had killed several men. If the locals recognized him, there might be problems. Shechem might still have been abandoned, but someone found Joseph and told him to walk another day and he'd find his brothers at Dothan. So he did, and when they recognized him, they immediately set about betraying their father and him. They planned to just kill him, but Reuben saw an opportunity to get back into his father's good graces by rescuing him. He said, "Let's just throw him into this well and let him die naturally." So they threw him into the well, then saw some merchants and sold him into slavery. Might as well make some money, they said, and they got 2 silver pieces each. Reuben was a bit upset when he found out about this. He had lost his chance to be number 1 again. They thought that was the end of the story. They gave their father Joseph's blood-stained garment and tried to forget brother number 11. So at the end of the first part of the story of Joseph, we are at a point of apparent tragedy. Violent people have done violent things. The one person seeking redemption has been denied it. An old man is grieving his son, and the whole family was in distress. Genesis 37:35-36. And all of his sons and all of his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to comfort. And he said, "For I will go down into the grave unto my son in mourning." Thus his father wept for him. But like Paul Harvey would say, stay tuned for the rest of the story.